Jack Frost stumbled over a patch of green jelly beans, and his fingers unclenched. The magical jelly bean flew out of his hand and went spinning into the air. "Catch it, you fools!" Jack Frost roared at his goblins. Jabbering and squealing, the goblins scrambled over the jelly beans, reaching their arms up into the air. Franny zoomed after the magical tree too, swerving to avoid the jumping goblins as they tried to stop her. "Look," said Kirsty from behind the goblins, as the loudest voice, "a frosty fungus jelly bean." Right away, the goblins spun around and dashed towards Kirsty, licking their lips and drooling. As they stampeded towards Kirsty and away from the magical jelly bean, Franny caught it in her outstretched hand. It immediately shrank to fairy size. "Yes," cried Rachel, cheering. Kirsty fluttered into the air, and the goblins howled. Jack Frost roared and stampeded his feet in fury. "I want the magical jelly bean," he bellowed. "Give it back. I want all the jelly beans in the world." "You could not possibly eat all the jelly beans in the world," said Kirsty. "Oh yes, I could," said Jack Frost in a salty voice, "and I'll prove it." He started to shove the jelly beans into his mouth. The goblins watched, licking their lips, as Jack Frost began to munch his way through the jelly bean hill. At first he ate quickly, chewing as fast as he could, rammed the candy into his mouth. But then Kirsty noticed something strange. "All of a sudden, Jack Frost doesn't look quite so blue," she said. "He's turning green," said Rachel, gasping. Jack Frost chewed slower and slower until his mouth hung open and jelly beans spilled out of it. He clutched his stomach. "I don't feel very well," he said. "I'm not surprised," said Rachel, fluttering towards him. "Nobody is supposed to eat that many jelly beans on their own. Why don't you share them with the goblins?" "Good idea," said one of the goblins. "What a wise fairy," said another. Jack Frost scowled and then let out a loud burp and groaned. All right," he said finally in a grumpy voice. The goblins whooped and cheered, and then they raised their arms above their heads and dove headfirst into their jelly bean hill. Franny waved her wand again, and more jelly beans rained down on the group of goblins. "Frosty fungus and morning moss flavor," said Franny with a smile. "I think these jelly beans are going to keep them happy for a long time," said Rachel, smiling. "I hope so," said Franny. "Now I am going to take you both back to the animal shelter. I think you'll have a fun job awaiting for you there." She raised her wand above her head, and a shower of silvery fairy dust burst down from it like a fountain. The silver floated down and landed on the fairies, making their hair and wings glitter. It even dusted their eyelashes so that everything they looked at seemed to be glimmering. Then the silvery sparkles faded, and they were once again standing next to the reception desk of the animal shelter. They were human again, and Fanny was fluttering beside them. Not a single second had passed in a human world since they had left. The girls looked around and saw that the giant jar was still empty. "Quick, Franny, the jelly bean jar!" Kirsty exclaimed. With a flip of her wand, Franny filled the giant jar to the brim. "Thank you, my friends," she said, smiling at them. "I am so happy to have my magical jelly bean back. I cannot wait to show the other sweet fairies. I couldn't have done it without you." "We love being able to help," said Rachel. "I will see you at the harvest feast," said the little fairy. "It is my favorite time of year. I cannot wait to play party games with you and let you taste all the amazing treats that we have grown. She waved and then disappeared back to fairyland in a flurry of magical sparkles. Rachel and Kirsty hugged each other and smiled happily.